Years ago, I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and you know how you see those 3 o'clock in the morning infomercials, and there was this dude. Dude was named Carlton Sheets, and I don't know if people are familiar with Carlton Sheets, but he was the guy before there was ever a guy. Like he was viral before the internet, right? Um, and he was selling these no money down courses, right? And I bought one. I think my cousin bought it actually. I think my cousin bought one, and it came with all these DVDs, right? So that's a very old saying, but it came with these DVDs, and it was explaining how people was getting money no down with no down payment. I watched the DVDs. I didn't understand any of it, right? The crazy part about it is I actually bought a house with no money down, and I didn't realize until after it was done that I did it, and it changes your mindset on what it means to buy something. So there was a property that I had my eye on. I owned one property. I was standing across the street from it, and it had a for sale sign in the yard. Um, and I looked on the market. It was for sale, but I didn't think it was worth what they were asking for it. And it went on the market and sat there for about a month or so. It didn't sell. And but I went over and looked at the house and I said, oh yeah, this is why it's not selling, right? It just wasn't in good marketable condition. And it won't sell for that price. And I saw the family taking a sign out the yard one day. So I go talk to the lady who's taking the sign off. I said, I thought you guys had it on the market. She's like, yeah, we're just gonna keep it. Why are you interested? I said, oh well, I saw it on the market. It's just not worth, like, nobody's gonna offer that price. But I buy houses and I buy it, but it's just not worth it. So what do you think it's worth? I said, oh, I think it's worth 60 grand. I mean, like, okay, well, we'll settle for 60,000. I said, but here's the thing. I'm doing some deals in Georgia right now. My money's tied up, so I won't be able to buy it until next year. So how about this? How about you give me the keys? I'll get the property up to standards. I put my own money up to do that. And in 12 months, I'll give you the 60,000. She's like, absolutely not. All right. She leaves. About 2 weeks later, she calls me back. Said, yeah, we'll do that deal. Now, at this time, I didn't understand probate or understand anything. I just knew that her uncle had passed away and she was in control of the property. Um, so I did that deal. And she came to my house. She sat in my living room. And I called the realtor because I didn't know what paperwork to use. Like, it was one of my first houses I ever bought. And I called the realtor like, hey, I'm doing this paperwork. How do I do this? The realtor was like, I've never heard of anything like this before. And I actually signed a contract with the lady to purchase the house for $60,000 and to pay her in 12 months. We both signed it. She took a copy, I took a copy, and she left. And I had the keys to the house. That house, I put a tenant in. This happened on a Thursday. Friday, I was over painting the house. I called my friend who's a contractor. He helped me put a tub in the property because it had a shower only. It was a one-bathroom house. And he helped me put a tub in. And then my assistant's sister needed somewhere to live. And on Monday, she had gave me a deposit of $800, and she was paying $800 a month in rent. I rented that property out for 10 months, made $8,000. Then I sold the property to the tenant. For the last 2 months, I let her keep her $800. She paid some debt off, and I got to qualify for a mortgage for, I believe it was for $80,000. At the closing costs, I made $10,000 at closing, plus another $8,000 that I had collected in rent. So I actually made $18,000 in 12 months from a property that I never owned. I legit bought a house with no money down. And then it was like, okay, how do I do this all the time, right? And that's kind of got me into the okay, what does it mean to buy a house? Does it mean I have to give them money? No, it doesn't. So what does it actually mean? So challenge is kind of the things that you think you know, right? Because I just knew you couldn't buy a house unless you had money. I just knew that. That was a fact in my mind. And I tell people all the time, if you think that you can do it, you can. If you think that it can't be done, you're also right. So I know now, because I bought several houses with no money down at this point, that it's not only possible, but it's also scalable.